Hi everyone, it's Erlene of Erlene Garcia Art and the Hollywood Carney channel on YouTube. I hope you all are staying safe out there, and the ones who have been sewing and have all those little tiny scraps, or as some of us call it, crumbs. I'm bringing to you today 3 easy and simple, fast ideas to make with those leftover scraps: a zippered pouch, a tissue holder, and a drawstring bag. I really like the way this one came out, especially when you're saving really cool little pieces of fabric that have like a little image or a face that is too small to use for something else. So this is a perfect project. Now, I know a lot of you throw your scraps in one bin. I used to too, but now I've gone a little overboard and colorized it. So for a front panel like this one, that it's just all black and white and grays and a hint of red, I like choosing from this particular bin. So also, this is a perfect opportunity for you to try out all those different stitches on your sewing machine if you have one of the machines similar to mine. So let's see how this comes out. And I just pulled out a little piece. Oh yeah, that looks kind of cool. Now, I don't mind that the little raw edges show. I kind of like it that way. And this is the whole idea of making an artistic piece like this. So let's continue and pull some pieces. If your scraps do have a theme, that's cool. If they don't, they are still going to blend because they are all in the same color scheme. And I had ordered such cool fabric during this time when we were not able to go in the fabric store. And then I mixed it with other fabric that I already had. And look how cool some of it is. Now, when you start sewing, cut out some of the bulk because we don't want it to be bulky. Iron it and continue. I decided to iron the back as well, and don't forget to cut all the little tiny threads off. Now, when I started making this panel, the panel just grew and grew and grew. That's why I decided to make the little coin bag that you could also put your gloves in, or maybe if you fold up your mask, it'll fit inside that, or an extra mask. I have sold so many of these drawstring bags that I just can't get enough of them made. They're really easy to make, and I enjoy it so much because it's like immediate gratification. So you're going to cut 3 more pieces the same size as your front panel. 2 of them will be your lining. 1 will be your back, and it will be in a tubular shape once you sew all of the ends together. Once you do that, fold it over. You're going to leave a 2-inch opening at the top, so around all of the edge to the other side. And at this point, leave your needle in, pivot, leave your needle in, pivot, sew up into the 2-inch mark again, and backstitch. It's very important that you backstitch because this is where we turn out the item, and you don't want your seams ripping. You know, when you're reversing, it seems like, oh, this is a little wonky, but believe me, once it's reversed, you're going to be like, oh, so that's how it's done. It is really easy once you get the hang of it. So use a chopstick or something like a pencil and poke out the corners. Remove all the little threads, iron, fold those 2-inch open seams in, and pin. So your bag should look something like this. And at the bottom where the opening is, we are going to sew right here 1 seam, backstitch, another seam, and then 1 at the top. Make sure that it's wide enough so you can put your ribbon or cord through. Now this little contraption thingy here, that's called a bobkin. If you don't have one of those, you can use a safety pin. Or if you're using a shoestring, the point of the shoestring should slide right through. So we're going to go in through one side and then through the next side. We're going to knot the ribbon or cord together. Ooh, there's some little strings here. Make sure you cut those off too. So tie an overhand knot here. Now, what we're going to do if you're using this type of cord, carefully like the edges. So I'm doing that because I don't want it to unravel. Now, once you do one side, you're going to do the other side, knot it light it and melt it. Be careful again. And voila, I love it. Okay, now let's go on to our next little project. So this is a tissue holder. And if you stay till the end of the video, I have a bonus reel on how to make it a different way. This easy, fun project is even great for beginners. Once you complete your front panel, you will need to choose a lining. I took 2 pieces of scrap white, and the panel is 7 by 6 inches, and the lining is 6 inches by 8.5 inches. So, and then also do a 1/4 inch seam, and then let's reverse it. The 2 white edges, that will be the opening of your tissue holder. So let's iron this and trim off any excess. Ooh, that's pretty. So you can use fancy stitching if you like. I'll just use a basic stitch, and we're almost done. That looks really nice. Nice and clean and crisp. So now fold it back over, and let's take it to the sewing machine and sew straight across on both ends. I'm going to use this particular stitch because it'll keep it from fraying after natural wear and tear. So if you so desire, you can just do a basic stitch if you just want to pop out a lot of these and get them ready for your online store. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to box the corners. Just sew straight across about 3/4 inch, and it'll give it this nice boxy look. So let's do all 4 corners. You don't have to trim off the little points. I leave them because it gives it a more structured look. I'm just using basic measurements for this particular tissue brand. You can use whatever measurement, give or take 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, for the brand that you choose. Like I said, this is such an easy project. So let's look at it. Wow, I'm loving it. That is so cute. I think that day I must have made about 10 of these. So let's go on, and oh, I love this project. Now this can hold your credit cards, cash, your gloves, or an extra mask. This front panel is 5 by 9 3/4 inch, and you will need a little piece, 3 by 2 1/4, for your strap, a zipper that is longer than your project, preferably about 10 or 12 inches, a key ring, and some type of a hook or clasp, and then some of this sheer weight fusible webbing that the bumpy side is what we're going to iron to the back side of your panel. And look at that, that's pretty easy to use. Trim off any excess. So let's sew your zipper to each end of the panel, wrong sides together, and then flip up and sew down the edge. I'm going to use a super big zigzag stitch, so I am not going to use my zipper foot. So far, so good. So let's do the other side. I don't know who invented that fusible webbing, but they are a genius. So, okay, let's sew this side and then reverse it so we can see how it's going to look. And also we need to do the other zigzag right there. And then let's prepare our key ring and mini strap. So what you're going to do is fold one side in, the other side in, fold it over, sew it closed. So once it looks like a belt loop, slide on your key ring and sew the bottom of it. Now let's reverse the bag, and the zipper is going to be about 1 inch from the top, give or take. And let's see where we want our little strap to be. So let's kind of look at it. So that might be a good spot there. Pin your bag together. Now put the key part inside the bag until you just have about 1/4 inch sticking out. Make sure that little fob is not in the way of your needle, and make sure that your zipper is at least halfway unzipped Otherwise, if you sew it closed, you will not be able to reverse your bag. Now that you sewed both ends, let's cut off the remaining zipper and any bulk and threads. Yay, we're almost done. So now what we're going to do is box the corners just like we did on the tissue holder. So go down about 3/4 of an inch and sew across. So let's do that to all four. So now it will look puffy like a little pillow, and let's reverse it. I'm watching this along with you guys as I usually do and do the voiceover. So this is so exciting. I'm loving it. It's the perfect size for those throwaway plastic gloves, a throwaway extra mask, credit cards, cash money, chapstick, couple of candy snacks, you name it, it will fit in it. So now this is the bonus reel. These are tissue holders. One is flat with unboxed ends, and this one has the box ends. But on this one, I added key fobs. I know that some of you do not save all of your little tiny scraps or crumb pieces. So this is for the people who like to save the bigger pieces, and I created this one in the same size to look like a quilt top or kind of a quilted effect. Cut your lining the same way. And if you're like me, you're making several at a time. So make sure that your lining is a little bit longer, just like the others. Let's reverse it. And I had previously did black stitching on the sewing machine, and that gave it that faux embroidery look. Now the little strap is going to be folded in the same way. And I did have a little tiny image there that I just couldn't bear to throw away. So let's add your keychain just like we did on the other. 2 stitches on each side, a stitch at the bottom, and now decide which one goes with which. And this is going to be the flat one. Your key ring goes on the inside. Make sure you don't sew over it. So because we are not boxing this, I'm going to slightly put one panel over the other to give it a snug effect since it will not be boxed. So let's look at it. I like it. Very easy, and this will attach to your backpack or handbag, and you can have your tissues at a moment's notice. This one is the box one. And also, I forgot to tell you that if you have just a regular large box of tissues, you can take them out and individually fold them, and it will fit into whatever size tissue holder that you make. I like this one, how it kind of folds over there at the edge. So that was a bonus reel. I want you to think out of the box, use your scrap fabrics, recycle them, and put them in your online stores or make them into gifts for people. So now let's go back to what our original projects were. This little zippered bag. I love it. And we also made the tissue holder, and we also made the little drawstring pouch. And that is perfect for gift items, your tarot cards, your runes, your crystals. You can use it as a gree-gree bag, anything bag. It's awesome. I sure hope that I gave you some great ideas and inspiration to make some awesome pieces. So I want to also thank you for spending the last 15 minutes with me. Please check out my other videos. There's all types of great things to make. Subscribe. You guys wear a mask. Be safe out there and have a happy day. Bye.